Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and this is another one that's not a surprise, and honestly should be something that all of us kind of support. Burqa ban. Sri Lanka bars Muslim women from wearing face veils after Easter bombing attacks. Now, one, I would point out, apparently there's multiple spellings of Sri Lanka. I don't know, but Muslim women have been banned from wearing face veils under an emergency law passed by Sri Lanka's president days after more than 250 people were killed in a series of bombings in the country's capital, Colombo. Very sorry, I cannot say that name. The president's office said any garment or item which obstructs identification of a person's face would be barred. The move follows recent cabinet discussions on face coverings. The government had said it would delay a decision until talks with Islamic clerics could be held on the advice of the prime minister. A week after the attack on Easter Sunday, the country's Catholic churches remained closed because of security fears. However, the Prime Minister and President attended a televised Mass at the residence of Cardinal Malcolm Ranjith, the Archbishop of Colombo. This is a time our hearts are tested by the great destruction that took place last Sunday, Mr. Ranjith told those watching across the nation. This is a time questions such as, does God truly love us? Does he have compassion toward us? Can arise in human hearts. Police said they had arrested 48 suspects over the last 24 hours as checkpoints were mounted by all of Sri Lanka's security forces across the country. Among those detained were two men whom authorities recently appealed to the public to locate. Tensions have been running high on the island for over the past week, with fears of further attacks as well as dread over possible retaliation against Sri Lanka's Muslims. Police entered the main mosque of National Tawheed Jamaat, NTJ, in Kantankudi on Sunday afternoon, just a day after authorities declared it was a terror group. Authorities have banned NTJ over its ties to Mohammed Zahran, the alleged mastermind of the attacks, which also left hundreds wounded. Zahran and others wearing masks had pledged their loyalty to ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi before carrying out the attacks. Later, an officer dispersed journalists waiting outside, saying authorities were conducting a cordon and search operation. Police then left, locking up the mosque just before afternoon prayers were to start. Earlier this week, a Sri Lankan parliamentarian proposed a ban on women wearing the burqa. Ashu, and I cannot pronounce that, submitted the motion to Parliament stating that the garment which covers the whole body and the face was not traditional Muslim attire and should be outlawed on security grounds. On Friday night, a confrontation with police sparked a firefight with militants in Kalmunai. Sri Lanka's military said the gunfire and later suicide blast killed 15 people, including 6 children. ISIS clatter, not exactly sure what that's supposed to be. I'm guessing it's ISIS later claimed. Really need a proofreader. ISIS later claimed 3 of the militants who blew themselves up there, identifying the bombers by their nom de guerre as Abu Hamad, Abu Sufyan, and Abu al-Qaqa. Police spokesman Ruwan Gunasakara confirmed a woman and a 4-year-old child found wounded after the gun battle have been identified as Zahran's wife and daughter. The ISIS-aligned militants had created a bomb-making factory at the home. Bags of fertilizer, gunpowder, and small ball bearings filled boxes. Police found fuels used to make the fire of the blast more lethal. Now, one, I do want to say, independent, you need a proofreader. When a sentence like ISIS clatter lamed gets through, you got a problem. That wouldn't have passed my 9th grade English teacher. Just saying. For anyone who does want to know how to have kind of a proofreader, there are several programs that will convert text files to speech. Do that and let your computer read it to you. Aside from foreign languages, at least here in the U.S., you will actually hear someone saying something like ISIS clatter or ISIS clatter lamed. And it's just, you can't ignore it there. If you've written ISIS later claimed in a misspelling, you'll ignore it. But back to this one. This right here I honestly could not tell you if that's a male or a female. They look to be late teens to early 30s. It's about all I can tell you. Dark eyes, darker hair by the eyebrows, male or female, 17 to 30. And that's dangerous. It is, honestly. I don't care if it is or is not traditional Muslim garb. It's dangerous because all you have to do is claim that you are a Muslim woman and that no one is to touch you or talk to you or anything else, and you can go virtually anywhere wearing whatever you wish under that garb and harm people. I've not spoken out against the burqa ban anytime I've seen a story about it for this simple reason. After Columbine, my school, although I'd been out for 4 years, banned trench coats. And I can tell you, I had a nice London fog overcoat that I got in my junior year. And I had that, and I also had one for my ROTC uh, class that was a actual Air Force trench coat. And I regularly wore nicer clothes in my junior and senior year. I liked looking professional. So if it was raining, I would have my umbrella and I would have my London fog on, or if I was in uniform, I would have the ROTC uniform on with the trench coat over it. 1999, and I actually did check on this, the unit was just told, return them. None of your students can wear them. And they had to make do with windbreakers and umbrellas, and I can't imagine that. But it was a move taken by schools after Columbine because two very mentally uh, affected students used them to attack the school. I don't normally like the idea of suppressing something or punishing or making others abide by new rules because of something. But in a school, you can you can almost always see how it's a different atmosphere. Students walking into Columbine wearing trench coats and pulling out shotguns pretty much going to wake up school administrators all over the country to say, okay, no more trench coats. We don't want any possibility of hiding anything. We already had metal detectors and an on-site police officer, normally a canine unit, at our school in the early 90s. And they were already finding marijuana, other drugs, and weapons in our school in 5, 6, and 7 years before Columbine. And it's just sad. But that was one I did not speak out about because, unfortunately, one, the students are children, they're minors, with save maybe some of the seniors, but you're still around minors. And two, you don't need a trench coat to stay dry or warm. It's a fashion accessory. So is this. This is something that is used for two reasons: to subjugate women, which honestly I'm surprised idiots like Milano or the others don't jump on the how dare you, but then when we see someone like Alicia Keys wearing a form-fitting one that shows off the curves of her body, which would have had her stoned to death in a Sharia country, they praise it. It also, unfortunately, allows for people to go virtually anywhere with God only knows what under their clothing. And there's no reason to allow that. It's going to be interesting to see how this is treated, though, by the news. This is the Independent in the UK. They are typically a fairly non-biased source. I'm waiting to see what MSNBC or CNN makes of this, and I don't know if they will, but if they do, it'll be interesting. But I've said enough on this. If it if it works, good. Unfortunately, I only see it causing more tension. But again, I've said enough. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to keep them civil. We do not learn from argument, we learn from debate. As always, please make sure to like, share, and comment on this video, as well as to subscribe and activate notifications so that you are among the first to know of any new content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.